I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Colin. In this video, I will show you the top 3 best cryptocurrency to buy right now. The market is absolutely crazy. Everything is up and down at the same time. What am I talking about? I will show you right now. Nothing in this video is financial advice. It is for entertainment purposes only. Bitcoin is down. Ethereum is down. Yet there is huge news that some companies are partnering, GameStop and ImmutableX, for an NFT marketplace, basically boosting up some tokens crazy. So that's everything what I will show you. Let's start with Bitcoin. Basically, as of yesterday, it took a huge dive, right? We went from 33.7 immediately down into like 37, declined further. And then as of today, basically we took 2 steady declines. Now we're sitting at about 36K. Obviously, the pattern where we were looking forward to 40K is changing. Obviously, I'm not a technical analyst or anything like this, analyst. We don't know what's going to happen. It's going to go up or down. But with the downward pattern of Ethereum, obviously the NFT market gains more traction. Now that there's more room, things are more affordable if you pay it in ETH, right? Almost 2.8, right now 2.6. On the gaming side of things, now let's go first to the top 100, right? Because the top 100 is usually quite interesting. It's primarily red. Everything follows Bitcoin, right? Quant is one of the bigger gainers today. Well, let me see where it's at. It's here. So over the last 30 days, it took about, last 7 days, it took about 30%. And then today it took up about 17.6%. You can see a linear upward trend. However, that is not going to last, as we already can see that is diverting back to a linear downward pattern slowly. Quant has throughout time had significant ups and downs. If you look at the all-time chart, right, it went up really high and then it came down also very, very strong over the last 3 months in a linear downward pattern. This is basically the first up it has seen in a while. However, that also happened here and there was a strong decline after. It just appears not to be very fruitful long-term yet. However, has of course tremendous potential. When we look more down to Immutable X, it's really pumping, right? The pump is just continuing. Some people sold off here and now it's pumping again. Basically in the last 2 hours as the news was announced, it went from $3.10 to about $4, so a 25% increase. Over the last 24 hours, that's 37.74%. What is happening? GameStop taps Immutable X for NFT marketplace. So GameStop, whose corporation, is partnering with blockchain startup ImmutableX to launch its non-fungible token marketplace later this year, as it looked to take advantage of the booming market and complement its digital pivot into e-commerce. The companies also announced a fund worth of $100 million in ImmutableX's IMX tokens dedicated to supporting creators of NFT content from gaming studio Web3 and metaverse gaming. This obviously very bullish news. The market of NFTs nearly hit 25 billion in sales in 2021 compared to just 94.9 million the year before. I think right now it's already on OpenSea $4 billion in just January 2022. It's absolutely mad. While some see NFTs as the future of ownership in the online world and buying NFTs as a vote of confidence in the development of Web3 or the metaverse, others are baffled as why so much money is being spent on items which physically don't exist. Fair enough. NFT sales extend to art, sport, collectibles, and music. Sydney, Australia-based Immutable raised $60 million in the last round of funding led by Bitcraft, Venture, and King Rival Capital in September. All right, well, we do know that they have developed Gods Unchained and Guild of Guardians. I did on Immutable X one launch myself, which was, what was it called? High Rise Creature Club. I did minted this on SuperFarm, and it went through Immutable X, and that was actually quite the success. It was a little buggy on the actual launch, but so far they have done quite some launches. Astra Bros is obviously also a big one, but I haven't really followed Immutable X that much. I do know that this is extremely bullish news for the entire NFT market in general, as well as the layer 2 protocol Immutable X for Ethereum here. So they see in a day where everything is red, a huge pump in their pricing. And that's obviously, I mean, a tremendous indicator, especially that GameStop, GameZone, what is it called, wants to do a partnership. It shows that they are the next asset to connect with the actual game developers, right? The current game developers, not the game developers that I look at primarily on this channel, which would be gaming crypto, right? But the actual like Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, for them to make a bridge into either a metaverse system or a crypto utility style tokens, NFTs, anything like that, right? So when we go back to basically the top gainers, we see a lot of shitcoins, right? Shitcoins that pump, shitcoins that dump. So when you look at the last 24-hour time frame, you definitely want to do top 500. You can already see some bigger projects. You can see the Quant Stamp, Immutable X. You can see Quant here. Anything else interesting? Not that much. Oh, Mines of Delania. That's an interesting one for us, pumping quite hard. That's a game that I do like to follow. Why is it pumping? I don't know, but that's like quite significant indeed. There was like one huge purchase right here, and then it went up. Did it get listed somewhere? No, it was already on Binance before. But yeah, that's good news, at least for the gaming scene, that Mines is slowly moving back up, because it is one of the, I don't want to say leading games, but games with extremely high potential. When you look at the top 100, you can see there are very, very little gainers, right? So this is not a real gainer. Decentraland, almost nothing, 2% on HBAR. But then Quant and Immutable X, the ones that we just covered just now, are the biggest gainers, where Immutable X is still steady, the biggest gainer as of today, right now. Biggest losers, MetaPay, Pepe, I don't even know what those things are. Let me do back to the top 100. So on place 100, the render token is the biggest loser, but obviously Solana, because of the Wormhole. And that's obviously also very big news. So if you type in Wormhole exploit, then $326 million was stolen yesterday in a Wormhole exploit, like basically the bridge between Ethereum and Solana, I believe. An exploit on Wormhole, a bridge between the Solana and Ethereum blockchains, caused losses for Solana traders, which was quite significant, right? So I'm not going to go into much detail, but this is definitely interesting news, interesting development. A lot of coins have suspended their bridges because of the exploit, and that Ethereum dude, Vitalik, did mention it before, earlier in one of his press statements, that wormholes are quite vulnerable to exploits. Fun fact that not too long later this occurred, where obviously it's quite a lot of money that now has gone missing, or at least was stolen. And I believe they offered the actual theft, the thief, $10 million compensation. In this case, this is obviously dirty money. And when you get a $10 million for a bounty, then that's white hat money. I don't think, maybe it's a bait for the FBI or whatever, but I don't think he will take the deal. I think he will find a way to launder that money, and that's it. Obviously, as a result of that, there were a lot of liquidations as well by people using the leverage systems, which like that could happen anytime. So I don't think that's the risk that they carry, but I do think the exploit is very concerning in general for anybody working on the blockchain and development. But that's what you get if you're early here. The market is still early. Solana dropped basically from 111 all the way back to 97, so it lost about 11-12%. But we're still early in the early days of crypto, and these things happen, right? And once they happen, they try to fix it, and they try to make the security better, etc. When we actually look at the top gaming tokens, right? So we have looked at Immutable X, which is a main gainer. It has already had a huge pump today. Will it continue to pump? Most likely there will be quite some people taking profit. So I don't think it will go anywhere to $5 or $6 or nothing like that. However, over time, this is a bullish sign. So this is something you might want to consider for the long term, right? I do have some interesting news actually on specifically Falcon. So I took my profit out of Falcon, which I did yesterday, as I did say that I would do. When you look actually at Vulcan right now, I think the pattern that I notice is one of the best gaming cryptos to basically not a daily trade on a daily basis or continuously flip, but I do believe that the potential is there to make consistent entries and consistent exits because the coin is quite volatile in general. So when you look at the chart right here, even on a daily basis, it can go from 940 to 1050, right? That's a 10% gain, and that's like going on continuously. It's just hopping up and down, up and down, up and down. So there's definitely a lot of potential according to this graph. And therefore, I think even like I'm a long-term believer in the Vulcan Forged system, how they build it up, the platform with all the different games they support and everything. But I might also add this one to the list for short-term movement, right? So definitely one of the best gaming cryptos to look at right now, while it still be extremely undervalued, right? When we look at the all-time chart, it reached in the bull run $46. It's now at 25% of that at about $11. So huge potential right there. UFO gaming will have to come down a little bit with after the 40% increase, right? And a pattern we do often see is that all of these coins, they follow Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin goes down, everything goes down, right? One of the major, I would say, stability points is, I think, Mana, right? It's the #1 metaverse gaming crypto so far with the highest market cap of $4.7 billion. But you can also see it's quite more resistant to the volatility of Bitcoin. So I did sell my Mana today, actually, this morning, because I bought a rare Neo Tokyo outer identity. So now I have 2 outer identities, 1 citizen. Yeah, quite expensive indeed. So I needed some liquidity. So I sold my Mana. But I think Mana was my apart from Vulcan, of course, one of my biggest gainers that I purchased. Although it didn't gain like 100%, right? It also didn't have significant risk, which I think is important. Just my opinion, right? So I would definitely put Vulcan on 1 on my watch list, Decentraland on 2 right now. It's a risk versus reward ratio. Yes, you would want the pumps. Yes, you would want to get like the 100% increase. But with the market so volatile, you might as well play your risk and reward ratio a little bit different. Go for smaller gains, but also smaller risk. Right, you can see the sandbox on a 7-day, it's still in the green, where if you go down, right, there are some that are like so much higher risk. They even go down hard or they go up hard, right? But if the market caps become lower, they definitely become more volatile. No matter saying that, still, if Bitcoin plummets like another 6K, these will all go down, right, into the red. So the Bitcoin dominance is still very much important. Now, when we look at the actual gaming setup otherwise, there's not much to look at except, for example, Mines, right, which is like a consistent gainer. Crabata, which we covered before. But then again, after such a big pump, you would have to understand that it cannot maintain this always, right? So basically, the last time we covered Crabata, it pumped to 190, right, just over 190 right here. And now it's like on a linear downward trend, which is normal because people take profit specifically in a market like this, right? But you need to be aware that this can happen again. The coin, I basically say keep on your watch list as well, right, for the opportunity of the waves, is the Neko. Yes, not something I'm personally interested in anymore because I've made this play several times, but basically you can see the volatility that it has, right? And I mentioned it before, like I think 2 days ago, to get an entry somewhere here, if you did, you could have had 2 exits there and there, right? With the Neko and any of the micro cap gaming coins, it's just a matter of patience, right? They will pump on any big announcement and you can take your exit. The only thing you don't want is to go in hard while the entire market is shooting down, because these micro cap coins suffer big time, right? And when I say big time, I mean huge, huge, huge. They are usually the biggest losers. So those are basically my 3 picks. If I would have to make any picks right now, I think those are the most interesting. definitely very much, here is the Neko sitting at about 17 cents right now. Definitely interested to see what happens with Bitcoin being the main mover. So I wouldn't make any entries myself right now in terms of new coins, right? But I also don't have that many stables left now. I bought a huge bunch of NFTs, right? High value NFTs. Which we can also have a look at after we have considered the launchpads. So basically I did 3 gaming coins. I said I would give you the top 3 in the gaming space. Of course, I have covered these coins many times before, but I do have some intel on SuperFarm. So I heard through the grapevine that there are huge things coming to SuperFarm. So if you're into gaming or NFTs, right, because SuperFarm also bridges into the gaming space a little bit because the co-founder is Elliott Trades. If you're into that type of space, you have a long-term belief, just like me, right? I am definitely looking to make an entry on SuperFarm before it's too late, right? I heard through the grapevine that there are big things coming up for SuperFarm. They're yet to be confirmed, but I know as soon as they are confirmed, it's going to pump, right? So SuperFarm definitely on my daily radar right now. It's also sitting at 178, which means that I think as soon as the market goes into the green again, I think SuperFarm with the announcements they have lined up will break the 100, definitely. I think there's tremendous potential here on this platform, on this project. It's very similar to Altura, but I think SuperFarm is moving a little bit faster. They have a little bit more of a broader scope and a little bit of a broader following as well. The audience tends to be quite negative on Discord and Telegram, primarily Telegram, that's where I follow it. But it does have all the main exchanges lined up to have like a proper push whenever it needs to. So look, yeah, Elliott made an announcement as well. That's where my journey started when I was looking for more information. But definitely huge potential on SuperFarm. I cannot really say what they're going to release, right? I'm not going to tell you what they are going to release, even if I knew, but I don't. I just know that there's something brewing in the background, and I'm going to keep my eye on this. So if you would ask my opinion, what I would consider to be the hottest token right now, potentially, because I've shown you tokens, but they've already pumped, right? And we want to know the tokens ideally before they pump. SuperFarm is what I'm keeping my eye on for some short-term gains. It also a very good long-term hold in my opinion, right? So SuperFarm, my number 1, apart from the 3 gaming tokens I've mentioned today. Now let's go back to the Launchpad, see if there's anything interesting. I would be quite interested. CDFI still down. Bluezilla Launchpad just going down more, but they follow the Bitcoin pattern. So most of these launchpads have relatively low market caps, so they tend to follow Bitcoin quite accurately. There has to be some announcement or some IDO why some of these launchpads would gain more traction, right? AnyPad 2.4 cents, TruePNL 8.2 cents. It's still at about the same, right? There are not huge losses that have been accumulated. Nothing too crazy going on as of right now. But also, if these coins were down huge, right, like way beyond normal, and there would be some interesting announcements or IDOs coming up, you could make some good entries. For right now, I would say the only thing that I would think is interesting is CDFI still, because of the S-Fund NFT airdrop token that is coming up, so you would qualify for the snapshot. And they have their whole calendar for the next 4 weeks already published on their website, which I think is interesting. So CDFI would be the only thing. Let's head over to OpenSea and have a look at what the NFT market has to offer today. Azuki down to 11 Ethereum, so definitely a hard drop coming from like 19, right? Bored Apes under 100 Ethereum, Mutant Apes up a little bit. They were down to 20 Ethereum this morning, right now 22.7. So that's quite nice for anybody holding a Mutant Ape. I see Asuna a lot, 2.6, Killer Girlfriend 1, Bored Ape Kennel Club down from 10 to 8.49. All the other ones I don't really think is interesting. I'm not following those, but I am following, of course, the Neo Tokyo Outer Identity. So the floor is 8.14. The tournament is starting tomorrow evening. I have purchased this one 4 hours ago, $36,000, 13.9 Ethereum, a rare high allocation Outer Citizen. and I already have a medium allocation outer citizen, and I already have a S1 citizen, which is my profile picture. Really cool. And I'm going to participate in the tournament. We're going to play PUBG, and you will get components according to how good you perform, and then you can make an S2 citizen. So I have one S1 citizen, and I will then have two S2 citizens to be able to enjoy Neo Tokyo with, and or sell if I would like to, but I don't think so. I think I will hold on to them for the long term. So that's Neo Tokyo. I would like to know Journey Club as well to see what they're at. 5.18, still holding very strong. Definitely very interesting. I see a lot more passes and everything coming up. Obviously, I have my own. I don't think it's available yet. I tried to have it tomorrow, but in this account, I don't have a Digits Club NFT, so it's not going to pick it up. Can I search on sort by recently created? Yep, there we go. So this is my actual NFT project, which I own, right? It's a private Discord, which, look, that's me, that's my team. Where we talk about IDOs and Launchpad. So there's none listed for sale. This is just me listed one for 1,000 Ethereum just to test if the floor is working. So out of the 63 right now, there's nothing for sale. However, tomorrow, Friday, at about 10 a.m., we will have another private sale of 1,000 NFTs. So during that time, you will see the floor come down, and you might have an opportunity to join us in our private Discord. After that mint has happened, and there's about 1,000 NFTs into circulation, we have about 8,000 more to sell, and we will open up a whitelist competition. So if you do not have the money to buy one of the secondary marketplaces, the price is too high, because I assume it will be quite steep, then you can participate in the whitelist competition. You still need to do the minting, right, which is about 0.25 Ethereum, I think, for the whitelist, and you need to compete for a spot. So if you do not want to compete and you want to join us early to follow everything that I'm doing, then definitely check out Digits Club on OpenSea tomorrow. Make sure you have the official collection, and you can get that from the website digitsclub.com. Okay. Now we go to luxrare.org. Look at the daily rewards, 448% APR. APR moving down quite hard, about 100% a day for the last 2 days. It has fluctuated, right? So probably because the tradable volume was a little bit less. So because that's the foundation. The coin has also appeared to be declining quite a bit. So it definitely has some pumps in it, but we can see the linear downward trend here. But that makes sense as it would move with Bitcoin, right? These things are quite much aligned. However, still insane APR. It's just not for me at the moment because I think it's a little too risky. When we look at the other NFT sets, there's not that much going on. When we look at the complete overview, then we basically have this project, which I did cover. Gary Vaynerchuk is coming out with a new set. I've been looking at 12 Ethereum. I think it's quite expensive for the limited utility that there is at the moment. However, there are definitely a lot of interesting NFT projects out there with extremely good utility, right? So I'm not usually that fond of projects without utility, but definitely good opportunities there. Right now, for the market in general, when we check the fear and greed index, as I did this morning, we're again moving more towards the extreme fear, sitting at about 20 again. So we started the week with 20. Then yesterday we were 28, so we were heading in the right direction. And now because Bitcoin dipped, we're back at 20. So extreme fear still in the market present. The Bitcoin is volatile. And as the Bitcoin dominance is quite high with about 41.1%, what is going to happen? We don't know. We have to wait and we have to be patient. And meanwhile, I'll be here on YouTube every single day covering the latest crypto gaming news, everything that's going on. So if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.